Hello, everyone. Tashina Gonzalez, and I'm back with my scheduled live that we're going to have today. And so I'm going to wait for my wonderful guest that is going to join us from the fibroid pandemic. And so I will hold on for just a little bit. Wow. So today we are going to talk about a 5K, which I'm super excited about because it's so important. To exercise, if you have any types of just health issues, exercise is so important for us. And so my friend Latoya is going to join me. Let me see if I can actually find her to join me. Hi, Victor again. And when I get this on YouTube, I'll have to edit it a little bit. But how do I add a person? Thanks for joining me again. I'm scared to press buttons on here. Hi, Jonathan. How are you? I'm talking about women's health today, so it might not be a topic that you guys are going to want to hear, just FYI. But I'm waiting for one of my friends to join me. But Jonathan, you can go watch my other live that I just did at a restaurant. That one's more exciting for you guys. Victor saw that one already. You're just gonna stay? Bye, Victor. Double checking something. Thank you guys for being here. How was your day? Talk to me in the comments. Okay, this is what I do. Finally figured it out. Okay, finally sent the invitation the way that I was supposed to, so that my guests can come join me. It's been a while since I've done a joint live, so that's part of my problem. But now I remember what to do. So hello. It shows that you have an invitation, that I sent you an invitation. Let me see if I put it here. Okay, there we go. I'm clicking it. Oh no, it kicked you off. Ooh, gotta turn that sound down for sure. Oh, there you are. Now you're here.
There it
Yay!
goes.
I was like, after 7 requests.
Right, exactly. I'm like, I keep pressing the button. What's going on? How are you
But
doing?
wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
Fantastic. Happy Friday Eve.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely.
I love it. So,
Yep.
how have you been doing?
I've been doing fairly well actually overall. So as you know, I'm in my second wave. Yay, me.
Hmm.
So, when I'm in my time of the month, I still have the heavy bleeding, but I actually in February found out that my hemoglobin had went down to 7.1
Wow.
and I had no iron in my system because I was trying to go vegan. So we adjusted our diet. So we're now flexitarian. So we did a lot of juicing like once a month and
Hmm.
we stayed plant-based the majority of the time, but on the weeks that I am bleeding, then I eat meat. So,
Oh,
and then
so I never heard of a flexitarian. So is
I
that where
have a
you're?
whole video on it. Yeah,
I
it's
love it. I
still
got to go back
considered
and look at it.
plant-based. Yeah, I'll send it to you. So yeah, so with that, and then adding in a couple liquid supplements, completely food-based supplements.
Uh-huh.
Um, I just went to my doctor at the beginning of June and reviewed it with my functional medicine doctor, and my hemoglobin is back up to 13.8, and all of my numbers look amazing. So I actually have this biometric scan that tells
Uh-huh.
me exactly what I need to eat.
Hmm.
And by eating on with that and using the right couple of liquid whole food-based supplements, like everything is improved in just from mid-February to the beginning of June. So,
Wow.
yep,
I mean, thumbs up to you. I mean, that's
yep,
amazing, Tashina.
yep. Plus
Wow.
exercise as well. I started doing some strength training and
Uh-huh.
minimized drinking as much wine, which was probably the only sugar I had in my diet. So,
Well, I
yep.
mean, they say, I mean, red wine is made out of wine, period, is made out of fruit. So,
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But when you get to like 3 days or sometimes 4 nights a week because you're hanging out with your friends on Zoom, yeah. So I'm doing
after
the
a while, it's
75.
probably right. After a while, it's probably like,
Yeah,
glass number 8 is probably a little bit too
right,
much.
right. Yeah, for sure, for sure. So
Yeah, I can't drink white wine. I don't drink white wine. It gives me really bad, well, Chardonnay and stuff like I can't drink. It gives me really, really bad headaches. So I'll do a cocktail every now and then. I know in this womb wellness journey, we are supposed to forego all alcohol, and I totally understand that. But
right,
I'm a firm believer in doing everything in moderation. So
yeah,
my favorite drink is Moscow Mule with Tito's, light on the lime. It
yeah.
has very little mixer. The ginger beer, I get the kind that's not as sweet.
Yeah.
So that's what I usually try to do. Hey guys, how's it going?
Hello, hello.
Hey,
Yeah,
Chaotic Dangerous.
and this is it, it's actually a personality trait, believe it or not.
Hmm.
Like there a lot of people are moderators, and so that's what I am. Some people, I think it's a less amount of people are abstainers, but
Uh-huh.
some people in their personality are actually what you call a moderator. And so the second that I say I'm never ever going to have something, I want it.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
but
my definition. Yeah.
if I live by the 80/20 rule, I have the most amount of self-control whatsoever. I can go to work and you can put everything on the counter and I won't have any of it.
Mm-mm.
Because I know 2 weeks from now I already have something planned.
Wow, that sounds a lot like me. Like it's funny because we had went to this restaurant, one of my very first lunch meetings for work last week, and they brought out. It was so adorable. They brought out this. It was a fruit tree, right? Had all
Hmm.
these tiny glass shot. It was like the 2 ounce shot glasses, but it had dessert inside, whether it was custard or parfait or cake or mousse. And I was like, no, thank you. Like literally
Yeah.
every person, there were, I think, what are, or 8 of us. Every person at that lunch table, it was a very nice restaurant. Every person had a dessert except for me. And they were like, Latoya, I don't understand. Like, why are you not having a dessert? I'm like, you don't understand what I have going on this weekend. I can't.
Yeah. Exactly. 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 Well,
Well,
with
great to
that,
catch up with you.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get into our topics for
Absolutely.
today.
Hey
So
guys.
you want to go ahead and give everyone, all my audience and everything, a introduction of who you are, how you got here, and what you do.
Yeah, so first and foremost, Tashina, before we get started, I always have to thank you, the host, for just allowing me to be on your platform and allowing me to speak to your audience. I do not take it lightly. I appreciate you so very much. Um, so I actually found you by social media. I call
Yep.
you one of my social media friends. I tell you the past year, I've actually probably met so many new friends that I never even realized I had a capacity or the capability of doing just by way of social media. So that has been a beautiful thing for me. And my name is Latoya Dwight, and I am the founder of the Fibroid Pandemic. And my organization was created to help provide resources to women who are living with uterine fibroids. So statistically, about 70% of women within their childbearing age, so between age 15 to 50, will actually develop uterine fibroids within their lifetime. Some may have very severe symptoms, some may not at all, not even realize that they have them. But within that demographic, 80% are Black women. So, based on my own personal experience, is what actually caused me to create this organization. And I actually took it a step further this year. About 2.5 years ago, God placed it on my heart to help women in another capacity, which actually consists of doing a 5K. So I'm proud to announce that about 6 weeks ago or so, 5 to 6 weeks ago, I actually launched my very first 5K run walk. It is a family friendly event. It's called Run Far 5K Run Walk. And FAR is an acronym for Fibroid Awareness and Resources. And the main reason why I want to do it is because I want to try to help women in a different capacity to where we're helping to eliminate period poverty, but we're also helping to avoid any unnecessary hysterectomies. Because a lot of women who have uterine fibroids, oftentimes the very first and only option that their doctor gives them as far as a remedy is to have a hysterectomy. So that's who I am. I'm really passionate about it. My race is this July the 24th during Fibroid Awareness Month um,
Yay.
here in the Atlanta, Georgia area. And I'm super duper excited about it.
Awesome, awesome. And then you have a virtual option as well, correct? So you don't
I
have to be in
do.
Atlanta.
So I try to think of everything because you have to keep in mind that a lot of people still are not 100% comfortable coming out of COVID, so to speak, right? And I'm doing air quotes because there's some gray areas with coming out of COVID. So yeah, so you can actually attend in person on Saturday, July 24th. You can also attend virtually, which you can actually go online and register as a virtual participant. So there's three different ways, several ways you can register. You can actually register by clicking the link in my bio. You can register on Eventbrite. You can register on Facebook, or you can register by going to the fibroidpandemic.com. You can do it virtually, whereby you will actually do your own 5K on your own. Then you'll go back and log in and enter your time, and we'll mail you your race day T-shirt and your finisher's medal. Or you can also become a ghost phantom runner, or participant. So basically, that's like the individual who's like, you know what, I love your cause. I don't want to run. I don't even want to walk, but I want my T-shirt. So that
Right.
individual will just register, and they will still get their finisher's medal and their T-shirt. Or you can even gift a registration to someone else. So a couple of my sponsors are gifting registrations. So I told people, hey, turn your notifications on because I'm going to be on soon trying to give out those gifting those sponsorships. But yeah, I mean, speaking of sponsorships, we're looking for monetary donations, sponsorships. Donations and sponsorships are different. So the donations are going to go to Pad the Pandemic, which is my nonprofit, which has helped to create to help eliminate period poverty. Or sponsorship just helps to pretty much fund the event. Um, there's different levels of sponsorships. You can even offer in-kind sponsorships, which are things like, you know, I have someone who's actually doing hand sanitizers, someone who's doing bottled water, someone who's doing, wellness gift bags, things like that. So I'm open to any and everything. But
Wonderful. Yeah,
I
send
try
me
to
the
think of
information of
everything.
how to send some wellness gift bags because I can definitely do that.
I appreciate it so much. You guys have no idea how much that really means to me. Like
Yeah.
it really, because this has been very exhausting. Because people forget. I work a 9 to 5. Well, I tell people 9 to 5, but it's more like a 55-hour work week, just my regular
Right.
job. And I
Yep.
do, people think I do the fibroid pandemic full time, but I don't. And I have a family. So it's a
Right.
lot. It's a lot.
Right. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I have a day job. I do the holistic wellness and self-development coaching. So I do volunteer Bible preaching as a Jehovah's Witness,
Yes.
letter writing now. So yeah, it's you have a full day and then you decide to do an event, as you know, like thankfully it has made it a little bit easier for me to do events only on Zoom. But before I would do, wellness education events on a weekly basis, and it could be
Yes.
something as little as sitting up at a Panera or something as big as a 100-person event that you got to
Yes.
coordinate.
Wow.
So so yeah, I definitely feel you on that. So I am super excited about this because one of the ways that when I decided to get back in shape was by doing 5Ks. It was the way that I kept myself like on track and
Right.
responsible because in 2014, the first thing that I started with was like, okay, the first thing I need to do, my estrogen is out of whack or something, is I gotta exercise. Like I know how to
Mm-hmm.
do that. It's gonna take
Yes.
me a while to figure out the rest of the what vitamins and supplements, but I can exercise, right?
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
So I did a boot camp and I was like, how am I gonna keep this up? And I was like, I know, I'm gonna start doing 5Ks. And so from May to September, I would do a 5K because if I didn't at least do some walking or exercise, it was going to be really painful for me to do a 5K without training.
Yes. Yeah.
So 5Ks are like, have a special place in my heart. I have all these medals. I
Oh,
moved
I
up
love
to
it.
like 10Ks. And so I did already sign up for the virtual 5K. I already have done a 5K, um, already one this year. So I'm super excited to, find a track around here because I'm in Metro Detroit and
Mm-hmm.
speed walk my little 5K and send in my stuff.
That's
So
right. I mean, that's what you have to do. I mean, and I tell people, because I have some family coming in from New York and from out of town. They're like, "Well, I'm not going to run." I'm like, "You don't have. It's a run walk. My goal, what I tell people is the goal is to cross the finish line. I don't care if it takes you 3 days. I don't care if it takes you 2 hours. I did a 5K yesterday. Actually, I'm lying. It was 2.94 miles. A 5K is what, 3.11? So
yeah.
almost. I did one yesterday, and it was a run walk for me. And the reason why it was a run walk because I got outside. I was like, "What the heck was I thinking? It is so hot outside. Oh my god!" So I try to run at least like 3 5Ks a week, and
Yeah.
that's a lot. Well, no, I'm sorry. I try to do at least between 5 to 6 miles. So that's maybe 1.5 5Ks. But I mean, it's a lot for me. For some people, like I have a friend who runs literally, I think he said 100 miles a month or something like that. I'm like, that's nuts.
Hmm.
But 100 miles a week, something like that. But yeah, I mean, it's all about pacing yourself. It's all about understanding how to push your body. But you'll be amazed at how much your body starts to adapt, right? Your body
Absolutely.
really starts to adapt to it. And thank you for
Yeah.
registering. I really appreciate that.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. But the whole 5K is about awareness for fibroids. So for people that haven't heard all our stories and what it's about and all the details, and for the people that are watching, I had a bunch of guys that hopped on here. Okay, your mamas need this, your sisters need this,
Yes,
so that you understand what are fibroids.
yes. So fibroids are non-cancerous tumors of the uterus. And they're very, very dense, almost like the mass of a golf ball. It's muscle mass, very dense muscle mass. They are about 90, what maybe 3% turn cancerous, but for the most part, they are non-cancerous tumors of the uterus. To your point about some men, it's very important because men, I actually was on a live a couple months ago, and this gentleman showed up and he's like, "Oh, I'm so glad I'm not a woman," because he was hearing everything we were talking about. And I go, "Dude, this will affect you at some point. If it has yet to affect you, it will, whether it's by your daughter, your sister, your mother, your wife, significant other, whatever." And he stayed on for a long time. And afterwards, he sent a DM telling me how much he appreciated the information. But yeah,
Yeah.
so fibroids are non-cancerous tumors of the uterus, and they can be located within the lining, on the outside. They can kind of hang off like a stalk. They can range from the size of a tiny little seedling to the size of a blueberry, a grape, orange, apple, all the way up to a grapefruit or even a small melon. So the two largest ones that I had were 7 centimeters and 11 centimeters, which is about the size of a grapefruit and a small melon. Um, and when I tell you, it becomes very debilitating. The symptoms include heavy and or prolonged menstrual cycles, also known as menorrhagia, constipation, pica, high blood pressure, um, issues with delivering a baby full term, even to a point to where some women may even become infertile, anemia, to a point to where a woman's requiring, blood transfusions. And, it causes a lot of issues that from the outside looking in, you may not really necessarily look sick or
Right.
look bad, which to me is part of the frustration, which is part of my logos. And she has like the things on her face is like, if they were on an external exterior, would you take them more serious? Because people are always like, oh, you're fine, don't be a diva, you can eat the cake, you can eat the pizza. Well,
Right.
I can, but I also want you to understand that my stomach may be upset for like 3 days.
Right.
And
Right.
people don't understand that, so yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel you for sure. And I mean, again, I had phase one and I was miserable. I got to the point where I was bleeding 25 plus days out of the month. And I had all those symptoms. I had every single
Mhm.
one of them. And I didn't
Mhm.
know where to go. I didn't have any information of what to do. Like, I just mostly suffered in silence
Mhm.
until, I had the hysteromyomectomy.
Mhm.
And then this time around, because I started right towards the end of that looking for holistic solutions, it's
Mhm.
completely different. Like it's 100% completely different to be informed and have information. And now
Yeah,
I can truly say that I'm thriving with fibroids. Like,
good for you.
but you still have to, like you said, like I remember one time I went on vacation and like we went to go get wings and I unexpectedly started my period before I got there and I'm sitting there eating like a quinoa bowl at the wings place and people looking at me like I'm crazy. And then we went to a chocolate place and I didn't get anything and they're like, you picked this place to go to. I'm like, I can't overload my body with sugar right now. Like
Mm-mm.
I can't do it like in or else I
Yeah.
won't be able to participate. So
It's so funny that you say that because a lot of times what I do is before I go on vacation, I don't usually do cleanses. I rarely do cleanses, but I would really, my cleanse usually, because that's the thing, you have to know what your body really needs. When people go on juice cleanses and all these binges and detoxes,
yep.
while there's nothing wrong with it, because I do believe in having to clean out the yuck to put in the bad, put in the good. I
Yep.
do believe in that. However, you also have to know your body and your levels,
Yep.
because sometimes when you go through those detoxes and or cleanses, you can really deplete your body rather
Yep.
than really
Absolutely.
foster it.
Yeah.
But for me, my cleanses actually consist of just loading up on my smoothies and my juices because I do my
Yep.
own juice and I do my own smoothies. And to me, that really gets my body kind of, okay, let's ready, set,
Yep.
right? Let's set.
Yep.
Because it may take a little while for your body to kind of get back adjusted after you return
Yep.
from vacation because you may have a cocktail or two or three and
Right, right,
you're
right.
not getting as much rest as normal, or you may, contingent upon the type of vacation that you're going on, you may get extra rest, which is good. But
Right.
yeah, I think that's very important that people realize that. And what I always tell people is like, hey, when you're going on vacation, plan your vacation, like plan the restaurants, look at everything in advance so you can already have an idea. Okay, well, I know my husband, I know my girlfriend, and I know my friend, they love steak, they love a really good steakhouse. Well, look at the menu. More than likely
Yep.
there's something on the menu that you can have. It's just about planning, planning, planning.
Yep, that's exactly what I
Mhm.
do. I always do. Like you said, I don't, and it's funny because every time people see me doing a cleanse, but like you said, I have protein
Yes,
included in those, and they'll be like, "How much weight do you lose?" I'm like, "That's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I know that I've
right.
overloaded my body with sugar or I've
Hmm.
done, and I'm trying to reset my body. And I
Exactly.
know that I have all based on the vitamins and supplements I'm taking and the protein, the full complex proteins that I'm putting in 3 of the 4 shakes and
Yeah,
the amount of greens that I'm putting in it, I know that I'm getting the right amount of nutrients when I do that.
exactly.
So yeah, I do exactly that too. So we talked about the symptoms and we talked about what fibroids are. So remind us again who's impacted. You told us how African Americans are impacted the most, but like
Mhm.
is it all women of color? And remind us of what the statistics that you shared earlier.
Yeah, so It mainly impacts women of color, right? Black women specifically, but definitely women of color, but not only impact women of color. White women definitely do develop fibroids as well. A lot of them experience the same exact symptoms as we do. But predominantly, Black women are 3 times more likely to actually develop uterine fibroids than our white counterparts are. But in addition to that, Black women are more likely to receive the recommendation to have a hysterectomy as a remedy or a way to overcome them versus given options such as a uterine fibroid embolization, a CESA, a myomectomy, laparoscopic, just things like that. We're not oftentimes given all of those options. So with that being said, it's very critical that women are aware of their body because, you have to, it's important that you really take ownership of your body and take ownership of your life and really move forward because the only person who's going to advocate for you as much as you do is you. No one else is going to
Absolutely.
advocate as hard and as, just passionate about your body and about your womb as you do. And, while there's nothing wrong with getting a hysterectomy, I always tell women, contingent upon your situation, that should likely be a last case scenario. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some women who truly need to get a hysterectomy and it has tremendously improved their life, which is amazing. That's great, but that doesn't apply to everybody.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's then get into the topic of exercise. Why is exercise so important?
So, the reason why exercise is so important is because one of the key hormones that is known to really contribute to the growth and development of uterine fibroids is estrogen. So estrogen is laced, it's like riddled in a lot of the dairy foods that we eat and a lot of the red meats that we eat and things of that nature. So because of that, exercise helps burn fat. As your body burns fat, it lowers your BMI, which actually is a lot. And the thing is, I tell people incorporating exercise for just about any medical condition is going to do nothing but help you. So I tell people,
Exercise medicine.
right. And people, I can't do that. Like, what's more important? I had a conversation with a young lady today, and I said, I was explaining to her how I was asking someone else, like, hey, what's your biggest asset, your greatest asset? And they would say, my car, my house, my bank account, my boat, my jewels, whatever. It's like, no, your greatest asset is you, your physical being. If you are mentally incapacitated to earn a living, whatever that may be, whether you are an entrepreneur or you are employed by someone, then if you are mentally incapacitated, you're going to be no good. You're not no good, but you get what I'm saying. If you're physically incapacitated, that's going to cause some roadblocks for you, right? So exercise is so very critical, and not only physical exercise, but also mental exercise, getting out there and
Yes.
exercising your mind, doing things like yoga and qigong. Not only is that good for your body physically, but it helps to clear out all the toxins, meaning the mental space, the energy space, right? And I tell women, you know, I'll always ask the question, when did you realize you had fibroids? When were you diagnosed? And they would say, well, I don't, down 2014. And I would say, what's going on in your life since then? Well, nothing. I was just fine. And so literally, as you start to peel back the layers, it's like a domino effect. They realize like,
Hmm.
oh my gosh, I was going through a divorce at that time, or
Right,
I,
right,
I
right,
was
right, right.
having some issues at work. So that's why the mental capacity, the mental exercise is so very important because you got to relieve that stress because women hold their stress in their womb, which is our uterus. And
Yeah.
stress contributes to so many medical conditions such as uterine fibroids.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, my first wave, I had a troubled marriage that has now ended, and I was working like 80 hours a week at my day job, plus doing the rest of the side things that we talked about. And
Oh
so
my God.
instead of working like 65 to 85, I was working 80 to 100. And then I wasn't eating right and I wasn't doing any of it. And yeah, what a lot of what I've been doing in the past 2 years has been cultivating joy and self-care and
Mm-hmm.
taking care of yourself. And now I'm in a new level of trauma healing. I'm
Yes.
certified in mindfulness and all this stuff,
Ooh,
and
I
I'm
love
taking
it.
that to work. Like I'm going to be doing some deep breathing for lunch and learn, and then another one on mindfulness and meditation at work. So yeah, it is so important.
I love it. I love it. Now, how'd you get into the mindfulness?
So again, just knowing myself and that I stay high stressed and with the tension and everything
Mm-hmm.
here, I was just looking for some other ways to just
Mm-hmm.
reduce that. And so I just found a European company that has a few certifications that you can get online. And so
Mm-hmm.
they had one on mindfulness, plus I read a huge book on it. So yeah, I did recently, not too long ago, I did a mindful movement class. And so it was
Mm-hmm.
started with deep breathing, using some essential oils, doing some stretching, just some real light stretching right before you go to bed, and then ending with a little bit of visualization and touch therapy.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I
yep.
love that.
Yep,
I
yep,
really
yep.
want to look into that.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
love that.
I can definitely send you the YouTube version of
Yes,
the
please
class that
do.
I did.
Please do. Absolutely.
So then, next question. So, we are in the camp that have fibroids, but we got our other sisters that got endometriosis and PCOS. So, what is the best exercise for just womb issues in general?
Mhm. You know, I tell people that you have to know your body because someone with endometriosis, like for me, for example, you know, having living with uterine fibroids, I love to sweat. I love cardio. I don't like to run, even though I do. I hate running, but I love boot camps. I want to get down. I want to get dirty. I want to leave like like panting, a need of need of a break, need of rest, like that's me really looking to really burn fat to try to keep those estrogen levels down as much as possible. But someone like who has endometriosis, sometimes doing a really hardcore hard impact um, exercise can really cause a flare up, so you have to be very careful. So a lot of the low impact exercises in my opinion are key, such as the yoga and qigong and the pelvic floor exercises as well. I think that's so important because it really helps to strengthen your muscles. It really helps to center you internally as well as externally. But again, getting back to what I mentioned earlier, as far as the mindset of it, it really helps to eliminate a lot of those mental and energy toxins. Now, when I
Wonderful.
first started doing, I haven't done qigong in a while, but when I first started doing it years ago, I would literally laugh at myself. Like it looks fun, just like yoga, right? Like if you're like,
Right,
what? It looks so easy until you do it,
right,
and then 10 minutes into it, you're like, okay, how much longer do I have?
right.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that those are the exercises I would say start very easy until you get to understand what works for your body and what doesn't work for your body.
Yeah. That's wonderful. I thankfully actually have one of the tools that I have that is one of my more expensive tools. I have a DNA test that I can do, and it
Hmm.
actually tells you how you're supposed to exercise. So I'm like you. I was designed like to do like to be a triathlete or something. Like my
Hmm.
body loves the heavy stuff,
I
circuit
love it.
training, boot
Hmm.
camp, stuff like that. So,
See, that's how
but
I am too. Yeah.
I would never know that unless I, tested and practiced and did, did the start with the walking, start with
Right.
the what I could with my body could, and then okay, let me try to do a boot camp, see if I can get through this or whatever.
Right. Yeah. How do you like boot camps?
I love them. Yeah, I love boot camps. Yeah.
I love them.
Circuit training and boot camps. Yeah, like for me, it has to have some strength training in it for me
Hmm.
that,
Yep.
yeah.
I
So.
swear. So if I ever come to Detroit or you either come to Atlanta, we have to hook up and go to a class together.
For sure. Yep, for sure. No, I'll definitely be in Atlanta. I got family in
Oh,
Atlanta and
awesome.
I got more than a few friends when I actually went down for our family reunion a couple years ago. So,
Uh-huh. I
hmm
love it.
yep,
Look at that. See?
yep. Yep. And actually, I got one of my girls that she's a really good hairstylist, and so I knew I was going down there for. She's a really good hairstylist for natural hair.
Uh-huh.
And so I knew I was going down there for the family reunion, so I like booked for her to cut and do my hair.
Oh,
So,
I love it. That's
yeah.
cool. That's
Yep.
awesome.
So, another question, what inspires you to curate? We talked about how busy you are. What inspired you to curate this run far 5K run walk?
So for me, when I went through well, continuously going through living with fibroids. I'm continuously thriving with fibroids, right? So for me, when I was first diagnosed and my doctor who I was going to at the time for 12 and a half years, at the same exact doctor visit, when I went to go get my IUD removed and they found the fibroid, all within that hour and a half, she recommended a hysterectomy without any other alternative options. And I realized very quickly, Tashina, that as I did my research, again, it's like you're peeling an onion, right? It's like the more you find, the more you find. And I realized that, again, women are not provided options. So when I had my UFE procedure, uterine fibroid embolization, when I had that procedure back in 2019, I posted on my personal Facebook account. Once I posted on my Facebook account, when I tell you the response I got was, it was actually very overwhelming between men and women alike saying, hey, that was for my sister, that was for my daughter, my wife, my niece or whatever. And I even had women who I had not spoken to or seen since high school. Now, my son is 27 years old, so that goes to show how long it's been, right? So to me, I remember reading those comments, and because my cousin's like, did you see your Facebook? I'm like, no. I went back and checked, and I remember reading those comments, and I was crying. And when I got in the car, because I remember being at work, and I got in the car, I told my husband, I said, babe, this is it. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And
Yeah.
so that's what really, really inspired me, because when I have these conversations with people, like women, it's so funny, because I'm sure you probably get a ton of DMs, as do I.
Hmm.
And women say, oh my God, that was so helpful. You have no idea how much that helps me. To me, that's my validation that, yep, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So that's what really, really, really just energized me and just made me grow so much passion to really put this together. And because if you think about it, Tashina, if you think of the term Susan G. Komen, you automatically know that's for breast cancer, automatically,
Right.
right?
Right.
It doesn't matter what state you're in, that's for breast cancer. And there's a walk for Alzheimer's, there's a walk for diabetes, a walk for heart disease, leukemia. There's not one walk that I have been able to identify yet that's specifically for uterine fibroids. Maybe womb wellness, maybe, women's health care, but I haven't found one that's specifically for uterine fibroids. And I was like, why not just do it myself? Why not create it? And when I tell you I was scared to death,
Right.
I was scared to death to do it because it's something that I never done before. I participated in a 5K, but never actually done one,
Right.
curated one. So it's a lot. It's a huge
Right.
undertaking. It's a huge undertaking, but I mean, hey, God, he set me up for the challenge. So I love it. I love it. Hey guys.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, thank you everyone that has joined us so far. And if you've
Absolutely.
just joined us, hopefully you can go back and see the replay. Great information for on women's health in general.
Thank you so much, Tashina.
So, any closing comments? And also, you're like me and you're doing like one or two virtual things every week. So, what are some of the other educational events and things you have coming up?
Woo. So yeah, so on Sunday, July 11th, Sunday, July 11th, I'm doing a fibroid brunch. So this is my vision. Just about every time I come up with an idea, it kind of multiplies by 10 times. That's just kind of how I'm wired, right? So my vision is, as the Run Far 5K continues to grow year over year, my goal is to have it become a 2-day event, whereby day one will be breakout sessions, educational seminars with different speakers, and also the brunch. Day two will actually be the run itself. So my goal is to have it to where, it's a 2-day event. Um, but being that this is my first inaugural year, I did not want to have the brunch and the race on the same week.
Right.
So I decided, let's push it a week and a half up. So on Sunday, July 11th, 2 Sundays from now, I'm having what's called the fibroid brunch. That's not virtual though. It is in person here in Atlanta.
Got
Um,
it.
to get the tickets, again, you can actually go click the link in my bio. You can go to Facebook. You can also go to Eventbrite to purchase your ticket. What's really neat is that not only does it come with brunch, it includes free parking, free covered parking. Covered parking in Atlanta is very important. and free parking is important. It includes tax and gratuity. It also includes a womb-centric workout with Phyllis, Fibroid Queen, earlier that
Nice.
day. So 8 o'clock in the morning, we're going to be doing a workout at Piedmont Park. At 12 noon, we're going to have brunch, and we're going to have some dynamic speakers. Dr. Amsu, who's the creator of the Great Black Detox, Dr. Soyini Hawkins, who's the first doctor in the state of Georgia to perform the Acessa procedure. And not only is she first doctor, but she's also Black and she's a woman, and Fibroid Queen and myself. So it's going to be an amazing event. I'm excited about it. And again, I really do appreciate you for allowing me to talk about it.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So I'll make sure that I edit this and have all of your information for individuals to connect with you. And again, I know every week you have you have a live going on and spreading some good information. So
Thank you.
always super excited to watch you. And then for anyone that may not be following me as of yet that watches this, I'm at Sweet Canilla 5. I do Feel Good Fridays every Friday. And I have lots of just super exciting. I again have taken my emotional growth and journey to another level. So I might be repelling some people away, but I'm attracting the right people because I'm constantly talking about trauma. And one of my exciting events that I have coming up is I'm getting with a new person, the Sincerely Mary, and she is in Chicago, and she's gonna teach my audience about trauma writing. So I've gotten back into poetry, and that's a way that I get out some of my emotions. So I'm excited to learn from her and all of those things. But yeah, follow me on Instagram, Feel Good
That
Friday
sounds
every
exciting.
Friday. Yeah, I'm super, super excited about that. So been learning a lot of good stuff and just sharing what I'm going through. So
And that's what I tell people. That's all it is, just sharing what I'm going through. Absolutely.
Yep. Well, all right. Thank you again, everyone, for joining us. Greatly, greatly appreciate you. And this was amazing as usual.
Thank
And
you
we
for
will be in
having me,
touch.
Christina. I really do
And
appreciate it.
don't forget to send me information of how to send. I won't be for every participant. It'll probably just be a few, but I'll send some health and wellness bags for sure.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. Thanks so
Yep.
much. Have a great one.
Bye.
Yeah,
You too.
goodbye.